rabbis to determine how he could best move forward. What I wanted to say about the experience with Nick Cannon is that this may be a place in which members of the various communities decide that it's time for people to sit and speak and talk about the things that affect our communities and how we interact and affect each other. Religion is a powerful thing, and people often identify not just by race and nationality, but also by their religions, right? So when someone says to you, I'm a Christian, he hasn't said to you that I'm American or Russian or English. He just says, I'm a Christian. When somebody says to you, I'm Jewish, then if you go to a cocktail party and the person says, oh, I'm Jewish, he's identified his religion. He's not yet said whether he's Russian or American, etc. So religion plays a significant part in our lives because it shapes our value systems, our beliefs, what we think. It often influences how we see the world and the people with whom we interact. And very often what has been inculcated by our parents and our religious experiences affect how receptive we are to other ideas. So religion is indeed a very powerful thing. Now, why we have to be very careful is that we have to be sure that we don't use our belief systems to hurt or to offend. And it's not as easy as it sounds. It's particularly tricky. It's particularly tricky because inevitably, when people are passionate about their religious positions, you hold beliefs or you may express things that you don't intend to offend anyone, but by their very nature, they can offend. But there are some other things that we have to look at deeper than that. And it's time for the communities to get together and speak. And I guarantee that by having this kind of rigorous and robust dialogue, people will be able to put aside the petty differences and move on. So here is a problem. Whether you are Jewish or Christian, this is particularly problematic. And this will raise the ire of several people when I say this, and it will raise feathers on the backs of a lot of the birds that are flying, but you will understand nonetheless. If you grew up in a Christian environment and you were told, and I'm not saying that you're wrong, and I'm not saying that you are faulty for believing it either, but I just want to show you how potentially dangerous something very simple can be, and you will understand the predicament of Nick Cannon and others. So back to my example. If you were raised as a Christian and you've heard that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and he's the only way to salvation, and he's the only way to the Father, you would have believed that all of your life, and you would have expressed that and articulated that, and you would have even shared your faith with others, not because you intend to hurt anyone, but because you thought you were educating someone about the path to God or sharing your own personal belief systems. What we don't recognize is that there may be someone who is offended by that. The person who doesn't share your faith may nonetheless say, look at the hubris, look at the arrogance, look at the offensive conduct, because he thinks his religion is the only path to salvation. And there, what am I? Am I outside of God's grace because I don't subscribe to Jesus as my Messiah? And yet the person who was seeking to evangelize or to share the faith did not intend for that to be the reaction. As a matter of fact, you intended the opposite. You thought you were doing God's work. You thought you were sharing the gospel. You thought you were doing a good brother. You were loving thy neighbor as thyself. But that was the unintended consequence. Now look at this example. If you are Jewish and you say to someone that we are God's chosen people, that has consequences too. Because you don't intend to offend anyone, you don't intend to hurt anyone, but this is the belief system that has been passed down and inculcated to which you subscribe. Nonetheless, there is somebody listening who's saying, excuse me? Are you telling me that only this group of people is within the arms of God's love, within the gambit of God's compassion? And then what are we? Outside of his love and grace? That was an unintended consequence of saying what you said, but there's some people who feel that way. Now, similarly, if you are Muslim and you are upset because you know people don't follow the Quran, etc., and you say, well, Muhammad was the final prophet, and his word is final, and he received the final words from Gabriel in a cave. And if you don't believe this, you are an infidel. Well, this has been inculcated and passed down to you from generations. Your mom worships at the mosque, your grandmother worshipped at the mosque, your great-grandmother worshipped at the mosque, and I take no issue with you because in as much as I was taken to a church when I was a child, I didn't choose to be taken to a church, I was taken to a church. And I have subscribed to the values and the belief systems just the same way another person would have done in another faith. And maybe you did not intend to offend someone by that comment, but the problem is, nonetheless, it may have unintended consequences because somebody heard you and said, what does he mean that Muhammad is the final prophet? And what does it mean that I am an infidel or an unbeliever because I don't subscribe to the Quran? So when you make these kinds of absolute statements, even with good intentions, because you're sharing your ideas, you're sharing your belief systems, and very often you're thinking, I want to rescue that person from damnation, and the only way to rescue them is to share the light of my religion. The problem I want people to see is you can nonetheless offend other persons. Now, why I'm also saying that we need to start having bigger and larger conversations about the issue is because we need to talk about some other things about what can people say? What should people be able to say without recourse, without negative blowback, without anger or vitriolic responses? And here's the thing about religion. If I say to you, for example, that I'm a Christian, and this is something that we need to discuss, I may not need your approval or verification for thinking that I am. I don't need for you to confirm and or tell me that this is who I am or what my faith is. And I may actually take umbrage to the fact that you think you have the right to determine who is or who is not. If I said to you that I am Muslim, and I said that's my history, my ancestry, etc., I may actually take issue with you challenging me on that as if you were going to decide for me who is or who is not. The same holds true if I told you that I'm Jewish. If I said to you that I'm Jewish, that's not for you to determine whether I am or not. I just told you that that's my religion. And if you don't think that I display or I don't wear the garments or I don't carry the accoutrement of the religion, that's particularly irrelevant. You don't know how I was raised. You don't know what my parents believed or what my grandparents believed or my great grandparents believed. You don't know what religious practices I engage in and what my family has engaged in for generations and generations. You don't know what they believe about their origins or where they came from. And they may actually be insulted by you telling them that they are wrong. For this reason, I think we have to have a broader conversation about belief systems and what people can and can't say, and to be sure that we don't allow any one person to hold the keys of definition to say, you are definitively Catholic if, you're definitively Jewish if, you're definitively Christian if, you're definitively Muslim if. Because there is also a problem with that. That kind of power historically has not been good, because that kind of power from one person or certain organizations to yield and wield and say, I will determine who is this or who is not, can be used for good, and it can be certainly used for bad. And so what I'm encouraging is this broader conversation, a broader conversation that understands and recognizes the sensitivities of people and issues. I had a conversation recently with a friend of mine, and I had to tell him something about how we were raised, for example. Most people, when they were raised in churches, have heard pastors preach sermons that are particularly hostile towards the Islamic faith, right? And so what do you think happens to a young child who grows up in that church? That young kid grows up with the mentality that I'm a Christian, I subscribe to the book, but nonetheless I have these sort of subtle and misunderstood hostilities towards Muslim people. What I'm suggesting, however, is we need to be particularly careful about how we deal with these broader issues. Not saying that you reject your faith, not telling you that your faith is incorrect, but understanding. Not even saying that your faith needs to be relative. That's not what I'm suggesting either. But understanding how we can offend others with confessions of our faith and with absolute statements about what we believe God expects, who we believe God is, and whether or not people are parts of our group. So when we think about the situation with Nick Cannon, I hope we're recognizing that there needs to be this larger, bigger conversation about everything. Because yes, indeed, our belief system plays such a pivotal role in our lives, and our belief in our God is particularly important to so many billions of people around the world. But how do we communicate our ideas about what we believe and about who we are without being hostile and offensive to others? So I'm hoping that this is something that will elicit and engender some conversations, and this is something that I'd like to come back at some other point and talk about. Right now, I'd like to take just a small break, and then we'll come right back. Thanks.
Hi, it's Miss Pretty J, host of the New Vibe Show. I know things are crazy right now due to this COVID-19, but I'm asking you to please stay inside, practice social distancing, and wash your hands. I'm here with you every Tuesday and Wednesday night from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. live on www.flexfm.online, talking about real life situations, not forced, not coerced, just present. The best conversations are usually the ones where you don't have to worry about what to say. So please continue to join me in a genuine place where you can put your anchor down and just be you, with the good, the bad, and the sexy.
So, last year you worked around the clock to ensure that this tax season you see a return that may help you to purchase that car that you're longing for or help you to pay down that interest rate on that mortgage. Well, if you keep doing the same thing over and over and expect a different result, they call that insane. You know what else is insane? All-in-one multi-tax services. All-in-one multi-tax services help you get the most of your return, serving the 52 state nationwide. For information and direction, you can contact Marilyn Johnson at 754-204-1610. That's 754-204-1610. Or stop on by their office at 3888 West Commercial Boulevard in the city of Tamarack. All-in-one multi-tax services LLC gives you the best of your return, offering services that goes above and beyond. So don't hesitate to call Marilyn Johnson at 754-204-1610. All-in-one multi-tax services LLC. Don't forget to ask about our advanced loans.
Blessed my people, this is yours truly Dapper D, Flex FM representative. And just a quick message for each and everyone out there, you know what I mean? I know these times are hard times. I know people want to go out and, you know what I mean? We're not really used to the being confined and not being able to step out as we feel like it. We understand these feelings and we get where you guys are coming from and we understand the stress. But what I'm saying to you guys is if you don't have to work, if you're not a nurse, a doctor, a police officer, if you don't have to leave your house, if your job is closed, stay home. Don't find a reason to go on the road. If you already shop and you have all your necessities, stay home. If your city, your state, or your country, if they issued any type of warning or any type of lockdown, any type of curfew, obey the curfew, obey the law. We just want everybody to be safe. And of course, keep tuning into Flex FM, that's flexfm.online, or Flex FM Radio on Facebook. And you can catch me here Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Don't forget, stay safe, protect yourself. Mask on.
It's insightful, it's factual, it's Flex News and Sports Daily at 7 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. on the only station that matters, Flex FM.
Taco wings, taco wings, taco wings. Taco wings and things. Taco wings, taco wings, taco wings. Taco wings and things. Taco wings, taco wings, taco wings. Taco wings and things. Come here and you will like it. If you don't want it, then don't buy it. So much options, don't fight it. Pick all you want, we don't mind it. We're all kind, we all grind. The best restaurant that will change your mind. You will love us, you will come back for more. Our food will have you running through that door. Look, taco wings and things is the best, and no time will be better than the rest. We're not shy, we spend time with our guests. I thank God, I feel like we're blessed. Look, taco wings, taco wings, taco wings. Taco wings and things.
Hi, My name is Gabrielle, and I'm with the Real McCoy Hour here on Flex FM. I'm here to just warn you about the importance of staying home and being aware of what happens with the coronavirus. We were warned by our government and our health officials to stay home in order to prevent the spread of coronavirus. We just want to encourage you to be safe during this time, ladies and gentlemen. And be sure to join me here on Flex FM every Monday from 11 to noon, right before lunch with TC. Until then, keep tuned into Flex FM where we keep you informed, educated, and entertained. Thank you.
In every corner, all over the world.
The following program contains language and scenes that some viewers might find objectionable. Discretion in viewing is advised.
All right, welcome back and thank you. I have with me Evan Lewis, who is the founder of Flyer Minds Apparel, and I'm happy to have him in the studio and to talk to him a little bit about who he is and what he's doing with his brand. So, Evan, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
No, it's my pleasure. So, talk to me a little bit about your brand, Flyer Minds. What is the inspiration behind the brand?
The inspiration behind the brand pretty much comes from my desire and my passion for fashion. Pretty much, I've been going strong with this brand for about close to 5 years now. It all started when I was in college in my dorm room, and I got working on my sketchbook. I started making designs, and I just wanted to be different I just wanted to make different clothing from what everybody else was making. I saw that other designs from other designers and other brands were too similar. So I was like, you know what, let me just work as hard as I can to be different, to be my own, to have my own image, to portray my own message.
Well, what is the image and the message that you want to portray?
Well, for now, I make luxury streetwear clothing. So it's luxury streetwear is pretty much tracksuits, t-shirts, shorts, pretty much basic things that you see, just with my own twist, my own style. What my designs that I bring to it is very different. The message behind it is Black empowerment. I'm very focused on my blackness. I love my black people. I love my black culture. And my message is to just show other black people like myself, other black people my age and in my generation, that we don't have to focus on being too materialistic as far as when it comes down to purchasing brands. You don't have to spend $200 on a t-shirt when you can help somebody else just by giving them $35 to $40. I mean, it's just to show that as a black community we can unite. We can do better for ourselves, and we don't have to rely on anyone else but ourselves.
Okay. So the name Flyer Minds, I'll tell you what it connotes when I hear the words Flyer Minds. You know, as a person from 1980s hip hop, whenever I heard the word fly, it didn't mean an insect on the wall. It actually meant something smooth and unique and trendy. So is the connotation when you say Flyer Minds to have an uplifting mental attitude and to be at the same time trendy and smooth?
Flyer Minds, yes, it does. What you're saying, yes, it does. And it also has to do a lot with the way I think. I guess it's just my thought process behind the brand. Flyer, like the root fly is, of course, to be, you know what I mean, as dapper as possible, as clean as possible. But yes, to answer your question, yes, it does. And it also means just higher level thinking, just another side of the brand, if you will.
Okay. Now, I know that you recently had some great successes with some of your designs that were sold out within a short window of time, and you have to have been, as a young designer, particularly pleased and proud about that.
Actually, I am. I had, let's see, I would say my first major release that I did about last year, I sold out my hoodies in, I would say, 2 days. You know what I mean? Just, it's kind of surprising for me because I never expected any of this. I never expected my work I didn't expect people to enjoy my work as much as I did, truthfully speaking.
Okay. So what is the inspiration for some of your designs?
The inspiration for some of my designs would be my grandfather. I say my grandfather was probably the cleanest, flyest man ever. So I can only try my best to just be as clean and as fly as he was.
I know your grandfather, and I tend to agree with you that he was the cleanest, flyest man ever. So, where ultimately would you like to take your brand?
Well,
what's the goal? Do you want to be a web tailor, direct to market via the internet? Do you want to also be in the bricks and mortar stores? What is it that you see ultimately for yourself?
Truthfully speaking, I sell online now, and I have a great success online. But my goal is by the end of the year to change my image, to go from luxury streetwear to 100% luxury clothing. With that being said, my online store is just the very minimum. I would love to be in Paris Fashion Show, New York Fashion Show, the Fashion Week in Paris. I'm sorry. As of now, I put together my own fashion shows, but that's just the start of it all. I see my brand competing with, for example, Gucci, Dior, Louis Vuitton, but I see myself being more successful.
Okay. So if we talk about, and you talked about empowerment in a community and having our own brands, etc., and maybe we had even brands like Fubu and Sean John, but those brands were ultimately sold to other groups. If you are able to achieve incredible success, if you continue to grow the way you've been growing over these last 6 months, would you entertain offers from other entities who either wish to partner with you or to acquire your name and brand?
That's something I'm still kind of battling with. In my mind, my mind is telling me no, I wouldn't, because I would love for my brand to be passed down from generation to generation. So after I'm long gone and done with my brand, hopefully my son can take over and create to the best of his ability to bring more to the table than I could have, to do more than I could ever think of. So to answer your question, maybe no, I wouldn't.
Okay. So I'll ask you a couple questions here. So you've brought a couple things here. Tell us a little bit about what you have going on with this mask.
This mask is just pretty much a basic design. I honestly got inspired through the whole George Floyd incident, because that sparked a lot in the United States and all across the world, of course. But this is just a basic Fire Minds design. It has the shortened logo with a cloud with an eye inside of it, just to
It's breathable, washable. I can wear it to the gym. I can wear it into any of the stores. No problem.
You can wear it anywhere.
Okay. And the shirt that you're wearing now, is that one of your designs? Because I also see it.
Yes, this is one of my designs. This shirt. Let's see.
And then tell me a little bit about the inspiration for that design. I'm sorry?
Can you open up the passing the black one. This shirt specifically, the one I'm wearing, honestly released today. It's on my online store. It's the front, this is the back of it. The shirt title is called "Love Is War." It was pretty much inspired by my relationship.
This is interesting. Explain.
Love is war. You know, I feel as if that's self-explanatory.
No, quite frankly, it's not, because that is what you call paradox or an oxymoron, that love is war. But the fact that it inspires you is indeed powerful. I just want to know if you would give a little hint as to how love is war, or how that inspired you to create that shirt.
Truthfully speaking, love is war. It all starts with your commitment to somebody, your commitment to anything. It doesn't have to just be a relationship. That was just the start of my inspiration. But when you love anything or anyone, 100% dedication is ideal.
So love is difficult and requires dedication as opposed to being war.
Oh well, when I say war, I don't
I know.
necessarily mean clashing. I just mean we're all human beings, I should say. So human beings. So everything is.
Oh, I understood. I just wanted to get you in trouble so that you would
I know.
that you would have to explain yourself and articulate the concept and your inspiration. Okay, so what is this one that you have here?
This one is another design that I dropped late last month. It's pretty much my Fly Minds logo with an image that I created. It's a light bulb with a brain inside of it, just to show everybody that it all starts here. Sparking ideas. Honestly, I spent, I would say, 2 months trying to finalize this design just to see if this is something that everybody would connect with or relate to, or even find interesting enough to even purchase. It's not about the money for me. It's about the passion. It's about the love and the time that I spend putting into this. It's something I love to do. So.
And in your brand, are you making sure that you also have apparel and items that are available for the ladies as well?
Yes, I do actually. By the middle of August, I'll have a release specifically for women's tracksuits, and then for the end of that month of August, going into winter, or going into fall, I'll have for men as well. But I'm focusing on women for my next release.
Okay. Any hints about what the inspiration for the designs will be?
I kind of want to keep that top secret, because once it releases, then I'm pretty sure I'll shock the world, or shock whoever is looking.
Okay. So you're transitioning, you said, from just, I think you said...
Yeah, I'm transitioning from luxury
streetwear to just luxury.
Right.
Can you explain what you meant by that?
Yeah. So, of course, I'll continue doing T-shirts and that sort of thing, but that's not my overall focus. That's not my main goal. My main goal is to... Well, I work with fabrics now, so my main goal is to take the fabrics that I work with, that I've been working with, and create pieces, different pieces for women, for men, of course, for children. But I want to give a luxury look to show that us as black people, we can be and look the part at all times. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, sometimes our culture is given the image, or we portray an image of unprofessionalism sometimes. And I just want to show that, listen, we can be, we will be, and we are. You know what I mean? And
that's powerful.
All right. So, but pretty much the clothing that I make, my luxury clothing, I'm not going to say it's only specifically for blacks, but it is to show that we can be professional. We can look great. We are great.
So and this is important, right? Because your brand isn't just restricted to persons of one color.
No, absolutely not. It's for everyone, all ages, all colors, all sizes.
Okay. Now, when you talk about luxury, in one of our previous conversations, you talked about making sure you give people the best fabric, the best quality, etc., because they deserve it. But the question I wanted to ask you about that is, in wanting to be sure you give people the best fabric, the best quality, the best designs, etc., are you then also able to charge a price point that your consumers can bear?
Yeah, of course. With my pricing, although I'm giving absolutely the best quality, I will charge a reasonable amount because I know what my people go through. I know what people go through, whether it's my people or anybody else. I know what people go through, so I'm not gonna charge $1,000 for a scarf. Nor am I gonna charge $2,000 for a coat. It's unrealistic. It's unreasonable, and not a lot of people will purchase it. And if I want my clothing to be worn all over the world, then I want to charge a decent price and a reasonable price, so that when you walk into my store or when you walk into any store that my clothing is in, you can say to yourself, you know what, this is great quality for a great price.
But can't a designer determine his value and the value of his garments and lines and clothing and set a particular price point that consumers are willing to pay for? So, for example, consumer pay high prices for some of the designs coming out of Italy and France without having to mention them specifically by name, but people pay high premiums for these brands.
They can do that, yes. But what I would tell the black community, for anybody that's listening, I've worked in retail pretty much for about 6 years now. I've worked in the mall. I've worked in luxury stores, and I've worked at shoe stores. What you're getting, okay? Gucci, Louis Vuitton.
Don't call names. We don't need to be sued.
Okay. These top brands, I should say, they pay a very small price, and they sell it they pay a very small price for their products to be made, and they sell it for almost quadruple of what they pay to make. Okay? Me personally, I'm an honest person. I don't want to give the wrong message, or I don't want to give the wrong idea to anyone, but I'm going to give the best quality for the best prices. And that's all I can say. Anybody can try to say what they want about it. Anybody can.
So what consumers need to know is that while your prices not be through the stratosphere and through the roof, you're still committed to providing the best quality, best materials, best designs that you can bring to the market.
Indeed.
Okay. Well, we don't know too much about Evan, the designer. Before we go, is there anything about yourself? And I saw you brought another one here. Can you tell us about that?
This T-shirt is identical to the black one, just in white, with the logo and my robot. Has the brain on the back.
And the light bulb for enlightenment.
Yes, the light bulb for enlightenment.
Understood. So before we wrap up, what can you tell us a little bit about Evan the designer and what things we can expect from this brand in the months to come?
Well, Evan the designer, not only do I design, I am a professional soccer player. I've traveled to many states and countries to play soccer. Soccer is also my #1 passion. It's what I love. It's what I do. It's who I am. I breathe it. I sleep it. I eat it. I love it. I also um, focus on. I'm focusing on right now on creating my music label, as far as my real estate um, connection. This is a work in progress right now. I'm really working hard on it, trying to get it off the ground. Hopefully I'm setting a goal for myself for the middle of next year to kind of have things up and running. That's about it.
Well, what I will say, I admire the message that you sent about entrepreneurship and empowerment in the community. I also admire your message about following your goal and your love. Um, there is that saying that when vocation and volition are one, man is happy, and therefore you should get up in the morning doing exactly what you want to do to be happy. I like also the message that you send to young people about the power of entrepreneurship and believing in oneself and believing in one's community as well.
Indeed.
I think those are profound messages, and as a result, wish you all the success in the world and all your travels. Uh, we're talking before, and I know that you are returning to Europe in a couple months, and that you've been preparing your body for that as well. And so I wish you success in those travels as well.
I appreciate that, man.
Godspeed and congratulations to you and everything that you do.
Thank
So
you very
thank
much.
you again to Evan
Thank you
Lewis of Flyer Minds Designs. And should you need a supermodel to help you with some of your outfits, Trish from Flex FM
Indeed.
is available, and I can arrange for that relationship.
One more thing. For everybody that's listening, log on to www.flyermindsapparel.com. Scroll down, find something you like, pay for it.
Well, today before we end, I wanted to salute the most influential person in my life. And this broadcast today is brought to you by B&B Sporting Apparel, and it stands for Ballers, Not Ballers. And the inspiration for that is from a gentleman, my father, who said, get up and play, don't just cry. In everything you do in life, don't just sit on the sideline, come to the front line. And all of those expressions about diligence and perseverance, he said, be a baller, not a baller. So be a B-A-L-L-E-R in everything that you do, not a B-A-W-L-E-R in who you are and how you live your life. He's now gone for 3 years, but his messages ring true, and he's still an inspiration in my life. He's the most amazing, generous, kind individual I have ever met, and this embodies his beliefs. And I think those belief systems are powerful for our young people and for the people out there. Just be a baller. Get up and go to work. Get up and play. You need to exercise. Get up and do it. You think you need to beat diabetes? Take your medicine. Diet. Don't just cry. As he would say, don't bawl about it. Live every aspect of your life knowing you have the potential. And the most important message I will leave with you today as we talk about B&B, and the message of my father is that he believed that you don't end up being lucky, but you're a baller, so you create your own luck. Luck, he said, is when preparation meets opportunity. So if we are prepared when the opportunity comes by, we can seize it, we can grab it, and we can run. And I think that's true for everyone and all of us. And I just want to say to my Father who is in heaven, I thank you so much. Yeah, you are an awesome father, a great parent. You are now there with my other Father in heaven, and he's taking care of you, and you're looking down on me and all of your lessons. I have learned them, and you've asked me to live my life impacting my community the best way I can and using my knowledge and information to share with the community the best way I can. And I hope I am indeed making you proud as you look down. So Thank you very much, and thank you to everyone who is joined in this evening. Thanks again to Flex FM, and in particular, our supermodel behind the scenes, Trish. I wish everyone a pleasant and wonderful weekend. May your life be filled with the blessings of our good God. Thank you.
He will be the first African-American president of the United States.
I've been broke all my life, but I kept hope all them nights. You see business in my city? Yeah, they closed all them twice. I was just riding down Salem, all them damn potholes, I can't drive. I know y'all can fix it faster, but I know y'all won't try. Don't nobody care about us, and that's why I don't vote. Voted for Obama back in 2012, I remember that's when I had hope. He was saying, yes, we can, and everybody got less food stamps. And when I turned 21, I was still broke, I'd never vote again. I don't think I ever had a president make my life better. Did it all on my own, ain't no politician ever do a nice gesture. I don't even know the mayor's name, I ain't never seen her one time ever. Tell me how she gonna help the city, when I'm supposed to do write letters, what I'm supposed to do blame Trump. He ain't never really gave a ain't nobody raised minimum wage. None of these jobs pay enough. I think they just wanna keep us broke, cause they ain't putting nothing in place for us. This how all my people feel, but we gotta learn, we complained enough, let me change it up. Everything I just said, everybody I know think the same way. See, they don't wanna see us vote, and we never do, so we see the same thing. But all our votes really do count, and they'll never really let it show. So now I'm finna break it down, cause if I don't, you would probably never know. First thing first, you know back in middle school when they taught us, it was 3 branches of the government. We forgot it when we got older. It's the judicial, the legislative, and executive. But all we know is the executive. That's the mayor, or the governor, and the president. Now none of them 3 people make no laws, they just be checking them. The laws come to their desk and all they do is say no or yes to it. So when the news station tried to tell us that Barack Obama couldn't put us on, we was all salty at Obama when it was the Congress members all along. We gotta focus on the legislative branch.